Welcome everybody back, man. We're live. We're live for another, what is this, Wednesday? Yeah, Wednesday midweek episode. And today, I'm not calling this the final touches on the draft because it's not. It's not. Actually, to lead into that, here's what I'm gonna say. I forgot what I was gonna say. I know what I'm gonna say. I got it. Tate Ratledge video coming soon. All right. It's in editing right now. Okay. It's just not finished yet. I'm hoping it'd be done by now. It's not done yet, but it's coming soon. And I think y'all are gonna love it. I think y'all are gonna love it, man. But that said, this is something that we haven't done. I don't think. Well, I think maybe we've dabbled in this, but not really. We haven't really done like a show on this. And I thought this could be fun. This could be fun because I haven't really looked at like what a lot of other people think about our draft. I mean, I heard the Mel Kiper stuff and we saw that a little bit, but it got me to thinking more. I'm like, I wonder like what the perception is on the Lions draft. So what I did is I went on Google and I just looked up NFL draft grades. And I was like, all right, let's just see what comes up here. Now, here's what I did, though. I screenshotted probably like 5 different sources. Okay, so there's going to be some extra on the screen. But I screenshotted like 5 sources for draft grades for the Lions. And that's it. That's all I did. I mean, I like saw the grades, I think for all of them, because I was screenshotting them, but I really don't remember them. And I don't even know where they're coming from, to be honest. I was just clicking like, bam, click that screenshot. Boom. We keep it moving. I wasn't reading through anything. So I'm interested to see what this is going to look like. Like I've seen some of the grades, notice some B's, notice some A's, but I want to see like kind of what really break down what they're talking about. So that's what this is, the full reaction episode. We're just going to have some fun with this one. But like I said, Tate Ratledge video is on the way. Hope is it's going to be out tonight. Tate Ratledge video should be out tonight. It should be done editing tonight. That's going to be that's going to be the main course. It's going to be fantastic. I'm telling you, it's going to be good. But anyways, this is kind of a little bit of break from that before we get to that video. So let's go right into it. And I don't even know what we're starting with here. I just got to make sure that I have the right graphics pulled up. That's the key. I got to make sure I throw the right graphics on the screen. So let's start here. All right, what are we looking at? Okay, yeah, we're looking at it. So you're gonna see this little extra on the screen, but we're good. We're still here. Let me go. Let me move myself. Should I move myself? Yeah, let me go like this. That's all right. We got yeah, that's great background. Okay, let's do this. So this first one is from NFL.com. Shout out to NFL.com. I don't know who's writing this. There's probably an author at the top. I just didn't read who it was, but it's NFL.com. So there you go. I don't know. There's a lot of people that work there, so I have no idea. Let's see what they say. Let's find out. Brad Holmes mostly ate his vegetables over draft weekend. See, now here's the thing. Nothing wrong with vegetables. Just started off there. No, I hear what they're saying. They're talking about, I usually hear it like as the meat and potatoes is what the Lions did. They're saying we ate the vegetables today. That's interesting. That's interesting. But anyways, fortifying both lines with the kind of blue collar bullies Dan Campbell adores. All right, that sounds about right. That sounds about right. You know when Cody Mauer was coming out and he didn't have teeth? It was like, yeah, that's a lineman here. When Tate Ratledge, and again, video coming soon. I know I'm like leading into that, but it's coming out tonight. Should be. The haircut that he has, that's an offensive lineman. All right, just that alone. That's gonna work. That's gonna work. But we did do that. So we took Ratledge, we took Miles Frazier, we took him in the back, and I loved Miles Frazier, by the way. So I was, and it seems like the little glimpse that I was able to gather from a lot of this, a lot of people think it was a good pick. I think that there was like a consensus that Miles Frazier was just better than where he ended up getting taken. But I also think that was kind of a thing when Mahogany got drafted too. It seems like that's working out pretty well. So I'm hoping that that's the case here with Miles, and I think it will be the case. And I don't want to spoil too much stuff for my Ratledge video, but if we get to that, we do. If we just spoil it, we spoil it. But we'll see if that kind of naturally comes along as we're talking through this. So we did that. We took Ahmed. Still think I'm saying his name wrong. Boise State edge rusher. And then also Tyleik Williams at the top, which for whatever reason is the draft pick I forget the most. I don't know why. I just like forget we drafted Tyleik Williams. Be like, hey, who'd you take? I'm like, oh man, we took Ratledge, dog. It's like forgot we took Tyleik Williams. We're not gonna forget. We're gonna use him a lot during the season. But midway through day 2, Holmes got a hankering for something more exotic. You know what though? This is funny because I wonder how much of this is actually this, but it's like, when Brad Holmes tells the media, I just woke up. And I was like, hey, let's we're gonna be aggressive today. I kind of want to go get my guy today. But I don't know if he woke up like that on day 2 or not, because day 1 he was chilling. And I think maybe they were making calls. I don't know. But day 2, they did it twice. So I don't know if you would think you did it once, like, all right, I'm chill now. But I don't know. I wonder how much of that's actually true versus just no, these are kind of the guys that we're just targeting. I could see it with the Tate Ratledge one. You go up a few spots, you ensure you get your guy, and you're kind of getting that anxious feeling as you're getting closer. You're like, I really want that dude. And you're just like, all right, just do it. Whatever it takes. Just go get the guy. But then I feel like beyond that, once you made the Tesla trade, which was a jump for 32 picks, I feel like that's the kind of move where you're sitting there okay, we've already determined we're just going to make some calls and see what can happen. Right. This isn't like, oh man, we just want to make sure we get out of here with our guy. This is like, yo, we're just going to start making calls as soon as round 3 kicks off. We're just going to see what happens. And then they made it happen. There you go. But that one feels like it was definitely circled. Like, yeah, we're getting this guy. And it wasn't really it didn't really matter. Like, I feel like maybe it had a little bit to do with where the receiver board was, but I'm sure that one was pretty clear heading into it. Like, if we're going to try to make calls and just see what happens. Unless you would have went like round 2, then maybe it would have been another question. But outside of that, I mean, I feel like as soon as round 3 started, they were like, let's just see if we can take a swing. I will say, so again, I don't want to go into spoils. I'm going to do it because y'all are here live. Okay. Video's coming tonight. I think Tate Ratledge is going to be the future center for the Lions. I'm just throwing it out there. I'm just going to lay that at your feet. Let that do what it do. All right. You take that in how you want to. It will be well more explained throughout that video, but I can't hold it in. I can't hold it in. You know, when I put those together, I'm watching every game these dudes have played, and and I could be wrong. I think he's going to be the future center for the Lions. I think has a lot to do with why the Lions said, let's go get our guy here. When you talk about versatility, I think he's going to be the future center. So just throw that. We always talk about Frank Ragnow, who's the replacement. I think the Lions may have just drafted his replacement. Now, that doesn't mean you're one necessarily, right? You get your best 5 on the field, but I think they may have just drafted him. I'll continue with this, though. Flying up the board at 32. Flying up the board, 32 slots to grab, size, speed, receiver, Tesla. They absolutely did. They did that. Yeah, that's size and speed. Okay. A Michigan native who spent his first 3 college campaigns at Division II Hillsdale College before logging 2 seasons at Arkansas. Tesla received a lot of buzz in the draft cycle as an athletic freak with untapped potential. There you go. Yeah, not a lot of production, as we know from Isaac Tesla. That was kind of the big thing there. It was also, it's kind of a weird spot too, because he didn't have production for 2 years, but it wasn't like that he was missing time because of injury. It was kind of like he wasn't the guy. I mean, he wasn't really the guy till the end of last season, where it was like he's consistently on the field. I mean, he felt like receiver 3 on that team, and then he became the guy. And this is why I think it's important, you know, when you're doing this, to watch games in order, because once he became the guy, it changed things. Right? Obviously, his production went up just because he was on the field more often, but he wasn't that guy for Arkansas. And then it was almost like felt like one of those things, like, how are we keeping this dude off the field? We don't have great receivers. Like, are we really not putting him on the field? Like, if we look at what we don't have great receivers, why is he not on the field? I mean, he's awesome on special teams. He's blocking his butt off when he's out there, and he's like the big playmaker that Arkansas doesn't really have. Let's get this dude on the field. And ultimately, like I said, the Louisiana Tech game, he took off, became the guy on the outside for them. One of their top 2 guys. And that's where I actually started to see some of those wide snaps as well. Like, he wasn't just the slot receiver. I think a lot of that was, you know, he wasn't a number 2. He was the number 3 on the team, and kind of the number 3 early. And then he became kind of the number 2 for that team, or one of the top 2 starters. So he was able to play wide, and we got to see a little bit more of a mix there. But he received a lot of buzz. But the price Detroit paid to make the aggressive move, that's going to be the pushback, I'm sure, with a lot of these grades. The 2 third-rounders led many Lions fans to ask the question that seems to pop up in mid-rounds every draft: is Brad Holmes feeling himself too much? Hey, yo, honestly, that's a fair, yeah. Hey, LA Tech, man, that's a fair, you know. I mean, Brad Holmes is definitely feeling himself. I made my post on why I'm absolutely cool with him being aggressive. Like, I love it, first off, and I always just think it's kind of weird, like, from a fan perspective. Like, y'all aren't hype moving into the draft. What are we talking about? It makes it fun when your team is like, all of a sudden, bam, you see him on a screen. Like, wait a minute, we just moved up. It's a lot of fun. It has a lot of fun just from a watching perspective. So that always throws me off. But yeah, again, I've kind of made my, I've kind of explained that one. That has no problem for me. Also, I do think for Tesla, I said it in my breakdown. Like, we'll see on year 1. Like, I don't think it's going to be there early. We'll see. You know, I think he's going to be like a Galladay. I think that was my compare. Galladay was a 3rd-round pick too, where it was like, hey, when you first got him on the field, like, this guy's awesome. But it was just seeing him. And it was like, okay, how fast is he actually going to get himself on the field? That's where I'm at with Tesla. I don't know how fast he's going to get himself on the field, but I think once he gets himself on the field, the guy's going to look and stand out and look different. It's going to be like, oh, man, this guy's pretty awesome. I think we make it kind of the same vibe. You got Galladay from Northern Illinois, more productive, kind of a similar situation I think he's going to have with Tesla. It may not happen early. We just may not see him for a while. But then once you do see him, I think he's going to look different. And it's going to be like, all right, that makes sense. Given the GM's sparkling track record in Detroit, it's probably safe to trust his impulses. There you go. But I wouldn't think Tesla's an impulse move. I mean, you're moving up 32 spots. It's not like a few spots because this dude's kind of slipping. Like, that's a massive move. That's something I feel like you came in already identified that we're going to make this kind of aggressive move. But it will be interesting to see how it comes of the bold decision. And otherwise, Prozac, Prosaic Prospect Hall. Okay, I've never heard. I don't even know what that means. If I'm being completely honest, I have no idea what that means. All right, let's keep it moving. I'm gonna go to the next one. So shout out to NFL.com with the B minus. They're hating a little bit, but I think that's probably where a lot of these grades are gonna end up landing as we go through this. Let's get on to the next graphic here. We got a lot of these, so you gotta bear with me here. Oh, is this one? Is this one the? I think this is the same graphic. Yeah, I think this is the same graphic. Let me go to something different here. Okay, so here we have this. They're saying this is the favorite draft pick and a sleeper draft pick. Okay, so favorite draft pick for us is Tate Ratledge. Again, this is NFL.com. I wonder if this is the same writers or not. I'm not really sure. Free agency, departure of Zeitler, and then you have Mahogany, show promise. We saw he didn't have a lot of pass that 6th round pick, but they bring up his mustache, which is great. The mustache and the mullet, both those are fantastic. 37 games at right guard. You'll see in the Georgia video. Also point out he did take snaps at left guard, not enough to actually count him as any like, oh, he played this game left. Like he didn't do that. He played snaps at left guard. Like he played like 2 snaps at left guard this entire past season, going through all the games. Like so, he's technically aligned there. Didn't think it looked great, but he did do that. But yeah, this guy was a tackle back in high school, right guard throughout his entire collegiate career. And then this last year he had some injuries, right? So he had the ankle sprain that knocked him out. He had another injury too. I think it knocked him out for a game, but he was a little bit on and off. Even the games that he was playing, he was a little bit on and off the field. So they love to Tate Ratledge pick. And it seems like, yeah, they love to Tate Ratledge one. That was interesting. And even with the trade up, I thought they were going to knock that one. And they say Miles Frazier is the sleeper. Now this one they're saying Daniel Jeremiah, number 61. So this is kind of where I think the whole like outlook is. Like I think a lot of people feel like Miles Frazier was a really good value draft pick. I think that was kind of the thought around it. Again, I hope it's kind of a Mahogany thing, right? He kind of looked like that too when we got him. It was like, oh, this guy's pretty great. So I think Frazier will be that. I think he will be. And again, I don't think we're gonna really need him in year one. I mean, hopefully, but I love this draft pick. And this one to me it was just sitting in your lap. So this one just made too much sense. I thought Miles Frazier, an initially was the best value that the Lions landed in the draft. I thought by far was the best value because he was also my number 9 interior offensive lineman. That said, full breakdown coming at some point on the player. So we'll see. Maybe something changes. Maybe I think someone else is the biggest steal, but I still feel pretty good with that thought process. I don't have any problem with that. All right, let's see what we got next year. We got Bam. This is PFF. Okay, so we got PFF in here. Let's go to PFF right. Wrong one. Let's go to PFF. Here we go. PFF. So they gave us a B- too. So NFL.com and PFF both sent with that B-. But they ended up, I think, throwing every player into this mix. I didn't screenshot everyone because I didn't think I wanted to read every single one of these. Plus, it's PFF. Like, we knew what they thought about these draft picks before they were there. We've all done the simulators. But they gave us the B-. I'll kind of fly through the first couple here, though, because I think, it might as well. So they do like Williams because they said inevitable. They were going to they're going defensive line. I think a lot of us expected that. You know what the weird thing is, though? The amount of times we talked about, like, what position they go, what position. And I was like, it's probably going to be edge because of how many players are there. And they went D-line, but they went interior defensive line, which makes it interesting. There you go. So they go interior defensive line, and they didn't disappoint with a run-stuffing tackle. See, this is going to be the big help immediately. And this is why I like this pick more, the kind of further you get away from it, because we needed run support, and he gives us that for sure. There's no doubt he gives you that at a super high level. He doesn't win as a pass rusher consistently. I agree with this. I had him slightly above average as a pass rusher. Now, again, full breakdown will be different because I'll see every game, but I was kind of in the same spot, and he had opportunities to win because he's playing outside the guard a lot of times. So it wasn't like he was in a role where you're like, I don't know if he can win from this spot. He was in the spot to win. And he was fine at it, but it wasn't like he was special in that category. If he was, he probably would have went even higher because for a guy that's 330 pounds, I mean, to move like he does is pretty fantastic. So even in some ways, this feels like an upside pick in some sense as well. He fits the Lions' need for pocket pushers from the interior with Hutchinson on the edge. Yeah, when healthy, I mean, it's a need. It's not I would say the biggest need when you're healthy because you have Aleem and DJ Reader can do it a little bit. We talked about Roy Lopez recently. Roy Lopez can get after it for sure. So you got some dudes in there, and then Pascal will kick inside. Wingo will go to work inside, especially on pass downs. But I think the key here is more so that on first and second down, right? We always think about you sub package, put a guy in the rush. Yeah, but like teams throw the ball a lot more than they run it now, right? Like at least mostly, right? So first and second down, when it is a pass, can you go from run to pass? Can you transition from play to run to rush to passer? And that's something that the Lions did lack a lot last season when Aleem went out. That's something that Aleem could bring to the table. So I still think that's going to be a process for him, but that's ideally what the key is here is like, hey, you're getting a guy that's going to rush on downs that aren't expected to rush the quarterback. I think that's the key for this because we didn't really have that last year with some of the injuries. While he has the frame to play 3 technique, he likely fits better as a nose tackle. So there you go. He did both, and he probably will go nose, but we'll see. I mean, we'll see how that shakes out. I don't know. I don't know. We'll see how that shakes out. It could just depend on who the Lions have around him. All right, then they go to Ratledge. They say the Lions beef up the stellar offensive line with a 3-year starter. He fits the Lions style, downhill, light feet and pass protection. Very light feet and pass protection. Again, breakdown coming soon. He tested out way better, I think, than he even showcases on the field, which is a huge upside element to his game as well. Allowed just 2 sacks in 3 years. Only gave up 7 pressures senior season. I think a big aspect to that, and you'll see it, is the limited pressures that he gives up is not because he doesn't lose reps, because he does have losses that don't turn into pressures. It's the ability to kind of sustain and be able to kind of ride with guys to a point where they're not actually affecting the quarterback to actually notch a pressure. Like there are times where he loses where you actually don't see a pressure. Maybe the ball's already out, but a lot of times I think it's also when he does get beat, because he will get beat. It's that ability to kind of sustain, at least kind of hold off a little bit. So the pocket may move. He may not get notched for a pressure specifically. And you can see their pass blocking grade ranked above the 70th percentile nationally. That's pretty good in the SEC, man. A lot of games too. Okay, shout out to PFF for that. I think we have another graphic actually for PFF. So let's jump into it. That is not it. I can tell you that for sure. I think we have, here. So this is the bottom of the PFF one. So they have Ahmed on here. They have Dan Jackson. They have Lovett. Don't think we need to read through all of these. The Ahmed one's interesting. He has more unusual past. Egypt, didn't pick up football till late in high school. Maybe a bit raw, but he was highly productive his senior season. 10 of his 63 pressures in the sack. 63 pressures is a ton, by the way. That's a ton. And he did in some unorthodox ways too. Like I always feel like he would get pressure in ways that you wouldn't really think of. Like they weren't the cleanest wins, but it's like, all right, he's getting pressure like that. Whether it was inside, some of the weird like stop start. He felt too athletic for some. Offensive tackles as well, which is a good problem to have, but he did. He felt like, for that guy that's that thick and powerful to just run upfield like that, it's kind of nuts. Felt like he brought that, and then the 18 run stops as well. That's good, and that's some of that's to me is just discipline. Like we know the frame is there. Some of that's discipline too, by the way that he plays. They bring up Dan Jackson, special teams contributor, a 56.3 pass rating allowed. I didn't know that. That's awesome. He is one of the better special teams players in this draft. I do agree with that. I think that's where he's going to be big for us immediately. That's just his skill set, right? I mean, he might get some missed tackles, but outside of that, he plays like a great special teamer. The 56.3 pass rating and coverage. I mean, I buy it. Like he has a really good feel for the game. Right? He has a really good feel for positioning. So makes some sense there. And then Lovett played out of the slot, 59 receptions, 600 yards, 360. Yeah, they had a very weird receiving core this past year. Like they didn't have like dudes this past year, but they had guys that had like specific skill sets. And I'll tell you what, Lovett, he doesn't like flash me when I'm watching other players to the extent where I'm like, oh, this guy's amazing. But he does pop a little bit in terms of like, all right, he does some work after the catch and kind of the slot feel. Like you get some of the unexpected savvy that I get the sense of when I watch him. I feel savviness when I watch him, which is kind of not what I think the idea of what he is for the Lions is. But you see some savviness just kind of as a mover. He finds his way to get open late on plays. He kind of feels like he's a big time target for the quarterback, just making him comfortable. That's always a little vibe that I get. And that's, again, not from just like watching doing the breakdown for the play. That's looking for other guys. And you just kind of feel like he has just kind of that like factor of security blanket as a slot receiver to him a little bit. Like he's got a little bit of that to his game. So, okay, there we go. Shout out to PFF. Let's keep it moving. Let's see what we got next. So that was PFF. That was the NFL. Let's go to, ooh, yikes. Okay, I don't even know what this one is. All right, let's see what this one is. Right here. Yeah, here we go. Okay, this is, Fox Sports. All right, Fox Sports. They shouldn't be hating, though. We're always on Fox Sports. They should be giving us love. Okay, here we go. Let's read what they say. I was fascinated to see how GM Brad Holmes and the Lions would approach the draft given their coaching departures this offseason. Does that affect it? I don't think so. But interesting. Tyleek Williams could audition as a stunt double for injured Ali McNeil. Yeah, this. All right, here we go. But I do, you know what, though? I do like the explanation, though. I do like the explanation. Size-wise, not now, but I guess coming out, right? I could see the comparisons there. Different role in college. Power, okay, I can hear where you're coming from a little bit there. Agility, absolutely. And then leadership, yeah, the Lions always draft guys like that, so that makes some sense. And, the weird thing is, I always go back to this with Aleem. Like, Aleem in college, it would have been like comparing positional to critical. Aleem in college versus Levi. Like, Levi was explosive as heck, right? But when you watched Aleem, like, it was hard not to walk away like he's the better player. And I know it sounds like I'm just saying that because, like, well, of course he's a better player. You say it now. But, like, it was because he was so productive in college. And that doesn't mean that he should have been drafted higher. I mean, it looks like he should have, but it's just like this dude felt like he was much better at his spot. And back at that time, I wasn't grading players like that. I was just watching him and taking notes. I had no idea what I was doing. But the point is, you could walk away like, oh, this guy's just more productive. Like this dude he just produces, right? And you kind of fall in love with that. It's like, forget the numbers. It just when you just start watching, you're like, man, this guy makes a lot of plays. Like you just kind of get that vibe when you start watching him. And again, that in some ways, I guess that was Tyleek for me because while the athleticism kind of came along, and you're like, oh man, he's a pretty darn good athlete. It was early. I was like, I'm not gonna like this guy, and I try not to do that. Right? You don't want to do that. And just early glimpses, I was like, I don't think I'm gonna like this dude. And you force yourself. I'm like, I'm gonna do a video on it anyway. And you're like, this guy's actually pretty good at what he's supposed to be good at. So I'm glad I watched more of him, and I think that's just going to add even more to fuel to that flame as we do the full when we get to it eventually. Meanwhile, the Detroit Lions have found a clone of their head coach Dan Campbell, second round Tate Ratledge. All right, I haven't heard that one before. They're calling Tate Ratledge a clone of Dan Campbell. I don't know that I see it completely, but Dan Campbell with the mullet would be pretty fire. Maybe we try that. One of the most imposing, intense players of this class. I feel like the thing with me that even pops more, Ratledge video coming tonight, should be, is the battle from Ratledge. Like the fact that he kept getting on the field and coming off the field because he wasn't right. And it was like, oh, we're putting him out there for a drive. And then he come off the field. Like it was almost more so of that where, this is actually perfectly ties into what we talked about with Hutchinson and his recovery and Levi's recovery. Like these guys that it's like, dude, they're going through it. They are not healthy. They've had a lot of hiccups. They're trying to find a way onto the field. And think about these guys and the work effort and the work ethic, what it takes to battle yourself back to give yourself a shot to play. Like, I think just seeing that alone from Ratledge is kind of the big thing here is like, yeah, last year, dude, he just fought his way out there, but they knew how valuable he was. The dude was in different spots for them offensively. Like, they knew the importance of having him out there, and he battled to be out there, even though he was not right at times when he was out there specifically. And you do think about some of these interior offensive linemen. Like, it does feel like one of those spots where it's like, maybe get the guy that's like, I'm going to play through everything. Like, I mean, Frank Ragnow would have 3 injuries on his injury report, and he'd still play. Like, yeah, this guy's kind of messed up, but he's still playing, I guess. Not sure how he's doing it, but he's doing it, right? It makes concerns long-term, but it's like, yeah, he's still out there, though. That's kind of what Tate Ratledge gives me the sense that he'll be. Like, you'll see something pop up, and he's just going to play anyway. That's kind of the sense that I get here. I'm sure that the Lions were pretty bought into that as well. Because I always hear kind of that like bulldog and all that stuff. Like he is a people mover, but I get the sense more for like even as a finisher, I didn't think he was like an elite finisher, right? I thought he was a good finisher when things got past him in pass pro, right? He would stick with reps. He had some sustain, but he wasn't a guy that I was like, oh, this guy is just a nightmare. Like he would finish, you'd see some pancakes, but it was more so about that element, which I think maybe people are pointing to more so than anything here. Between Ratledge and 5th-round pick Miles Frazier. I think I called him a 6th-round pick earlier, so good look on that. The Lions' lineage up front is secure. In terms of value, I like the 6th-round selection of, they liked Ahmed. Okay, they like the selection there. And more than the 3rd-round pick of Tesla. Okay, so he didn't like where they were picked. I'm not sure if he's saying he liked the player better. That would be kind of nuts, but he might be. I don't know. Though the latter is intriguing, size-speed combination is welcome compliment, shiftiness and speed, the Lions' current receiving corps. It is size and speed. It is size and speed, but the dude can route run. And I don't like that doesn't get brought up. Like the dude can route run. I know it's size and speed. He is fast and he plays the game with some speed, but it's like the 40 time feels like it outweighs anything here. When that constantly gets brought up, in my opinion, I think that's just 40 time outweighing everything here. Let's talk about his hands, dude. Like, I mean, so many of these dudes, like, their size and speed, it's like, all right, I got you, because he is. And I think when you think size, it's not just height here. Like, he's a thick build, too. He can run through some things. But, like, his hands are outstanding. That's the thing that I'd bring that up. If I was selling Isaac Tesla to someone, I'd sell his hands before I sold his speed, man, because he can run. Yeah, he ran a 4.43. It's great for his size. But the dude's hands are outstanding. The guy doesn't drop passes. His tracking is fantastic. That's the thing that I would sell you on first. Be like, yo, this dude on the sideline, the body control, like he's going to come down with the ball. He's just going to come down with it. Like you would throw 50-50, sure. If you want to throw something underneath, there you go. He's got you. Like he's going to come down with the football a lot. He's going to track the ball really well. That's where the speed pops. Like to me, that's the sense that I get a little more. And those dudes are always so easy to fall in love with. I mean, even Brad talked about it being a hand catcher. He's going to attack things. That's the thing that needs to be brought up as the hands for me. But anyways, that's intriguing, they say, and don't be surprised if Dan Jackson makes the club B-. So I'm assuming, again, most of these grades, they feel like most of these grades, maybe some people thought Tyleek was high. That seems to be a vibe here. But most of them just feel like because of the Tesla trade. That seems to be it. It's like, yeah, you trade up too much for Tesla. That's it. You did that. But the weird thing is, I'm not seeing anybody bring up the fact that we traded for Ratledge. So I don't really I don't know. Anyways, let's keep going because we only moved up like 3 spots to go get Ratledge. So it's kind of weird. Okay, let's see what this one. Okay, we already did that one. Oh, what is this one? Okay, this one looks fun. I'm sorry, we got so many. We gotta hurry this thing up. All right, here we go. Wait, which one is this? Okay. All right. So I ended up saving both here. Let's start here and then we'll hit the other one. All right. This is sports data from USA Today. Okay, USA Today broke this thing down. So they graded each pick. Tyleik Williams B+. That seems like it makes sense for where everybody's saying here. B+ to Rattlers though. I wonder if the trade has something to do with that. Isaac Tesla C+. So this is going to be every grade is going to be. Yeah, but Tesla, you gave up a lot. You gave up a lot, which I understand it. It does also make you kind of wonder a little bit, like, did anybody like that wasn't actually drafting, like, did y'all have conviction on anybody? Like, I do wonder a little bit about that. Because I'm not saying like you had to, but I feel like if you were in a spot, right, where I said, okay, Lions took Isaac Tesla and they gave up 2 future thirds to go get it, you're like, that's a lot. But if you love the player, you'd be like, dude, I don't care. That's not a C+. That's a B+. That's higher than that because they got the guy. I loved him. They did it. It's a great move. They wouldn't got their guy. And then the flip side would be if you were like, no, I didn't really like Tesla. And then he gave up 2/3, bro. That's a D. Like, the fact that you're giving it a C+ makes me believe that no one really had conviction on Tesla here. It was kind of like, I don't know. You know, it's a lot to give up. I don't know. But he's fast. It's weird. Ahmed C. Okay, so now this one they did seem to have some conviction on, which I'm with it. This is what I'm looking for. I want some grade. Give me some grades here, okay? That's what I'm looking for. They're giving Ahmed a C. And I don't know, like, could this be because, like, oh, they took an edge too late? I don't think so. I'm not going to assume that. I'm going to assume they're just taking the player at the spot. I thought it was good value for the position at the spot based on where I was coming into the draft. So for me, this is opposite, right? And that's, you can see the rankings based on who was gone. Maybe they just had him lower. I don't know. And then Dan Jackson, they gave him a B+ here. So I think Dan Jackson had some buzz too. Dan Jackson has some buzz at the back. He was super productive in college too. So it makes some sense. Plus, we needed safety. So if anybody's just looking at needs, that would make sense as well. Which you'd think would move the Ahmed one up a little bit. But hey, I'm not mad. They had Ahmed. They were convicted as a C. Maybe they feel like he's not going to get to where people are hoping that he'll get to. Maybe that's the case. And if that is the case, then I can understand why they would put a C there. I mean, if that's kind of what you're thinking with this, I don't know. I don't know. I wish there was a little bit of an explanation to these, but maybe I'm just missing it. Maybe that's what this is. Okay. That's the full. Okay. That's the thing. All right. Let's go to Bleacher Report because Bleacher Report did grade this. I think. Yeah. So Bleacher Report graded this. This is this Bleacher Report? Yeah, Bleacher Report. Shout out to Bleacher Report. Here we go. Let's go, Bleacher Report. Let's do this. Detroit Lions selection of Tyleik Williams in the first round probably didn't generate many headlines. It did not. And adding an interior defender isn't quite as exciting as adding a game-breaking receiver or dominant edge rusher. Yeah, taking a receiver in that spot would have been probably a disaster. Like, in fairness, if we would have took somebody at 28 based on who was there, that may have been an absolute disaster. Let me take that back. Luther Burden was there. So talent-wise, I would have made the case before the draft that he was worthy of that pick. So let me take that back. It was just all the other stuff that wasn't really just pure talent that led to the questions of Luther Burden, which we know the Lions weren't going to draft that guy. I mean, once you start to hear that stuff, you can kind of assume Lions are going to draft that guy. But okay, I hear what they're saying. Never mind, because yeah, from talent-wise, like I could have actually understood like the value making sense for that pick. I think that would have been a fair case to make. Dominant edge rusher. Okay, let's continue. And by the way, dominant edge rusher at 28. Was there a dominant edge rusher on the board at 28? I don't think so. I don't think there was a dominant edge rusher at 28. Like there was dudes that I didn't think he was dominant. I think at that time maybe Nick Scorton was up there. You know, Josiah Stewart would have been kind of quick there for me. Donovan Ezaraku. Like I liked Ezaraku. I don't know if I'd call him dominant. See, I don't know if that player was even there, to be honest with you. But the Lions have been searching for a complimentary sack artist to pair with Hutchinson, which, you know, they're not saying that he is here, but they say Williams does fit Detroit's defensive identity and needs. There you go. The Lions featured a strong defensive front when healthy over the past 2 years. Got to get back to that. Shout out to BR for pointing that out. But standout defense tackle Lee McNeil's coming off the ACL. DJ Reader will turn 31 in July. Okay, actually, that's not that old. Like I always think about it like as old. 31's not that old. Not that old. While Williams was the 43rd ranked prospect. Okay, so now they're giving you a little bit of a picture here. And early run on defensive line made this selection sensible. That makes some sense there. I mean, we did, who was it? We had Kenneth Grant go 12. That kind of set the board. That and interior offensive line. Detroit stayed in the trenches, round 2, scooping up Tate Ratledge, who was 50. So they had a lot of love for him, which would have made him 7 spots above where they had him ranked. So that would have been a great pick, according to Bleacher Report. So they probably loved that draft pick. And then here's the bottom. The Lions got more interior depth with Miles Frazier and took flyers on Isaac Tesla and Ahmed Haas. They just said Haas. I kind of like that. See, I don't have to try to mess with the last name. They didn't even, they could have spelled it. Like, you're not trying to say it. They didn't even mess with that thing. I'm not mad at you. Moving up to get Tesla came at a cost, though, namely a pair of 2026 third-round selections. This was a solid draft for Detroit, though the Lions may not see significant early contributions from the rookie class. And that, I think in some ways is pretty fair. We'll see on the Ratledge thing. Again, I kind of spoiled it earlier, what I think he's going to end up doing for the future, but that video is coming soon. But ultimately, I think he's going to be our future at center. Let me just whisper that. He's going to be our future at center. But we'll see on this year. There's going to be real competition. Graham Glasgow, Mahogany, Miles Frazier, I think could start day one. Like, if you told me start day one, I wouldn't be shocked. I think he's in play for that. So Ratledge will fall into that mix. So possibly. Ty Lake's definitely going to play a lot. They already explained why. But then beyond that, like, I can hear where they're coming from, right? I think it could take a minute for Tesla to get on the field. That's fair. Ahmed may take a minute to get on the field. Hopefully he does, to be honest. If he's out there immediately, it's probably because we're injured. So hopefully he takes a while to get on the field, because that means we're probably pretty healthy, and he's not in a spot to actually get on the field, which would be ideal. So hopefully in some ways that actually is the case. We talked about the Frazier one. Like someone's probably going to – one of those two are probably going to find the field. There's a possibility that neither of them do. Right, you could have Glasgow and Mahogany just starting next year. There's a possibility neither of them do, but one of them will probably be out there. And then, Dominic Lovett. They didn't even mention Lovett, by the way, but Dominic Lovett is, I don't know how much of the field he's actually going to see early. I think you'll see some special teams that'll work early. And then same thing with Dan Jackson. So I guess in that sense, so they went C+ here. They were not feeling this one. I'm not sure what moved it down. I guess because they're saying probably the Tesla one, I guess. I'm assuming that's why this thing is down. And we have like two more to get here, maybe one more. Let's knock out one more here. Let's see what they're saying. So this next one is NBC Sports. NBC Sports grades the Lions at an A-. See, this is why we needed to get this one in here. We had to end with this. A-, baby. Here we go. Lions simply find a way each year to become tougher, more physical football. Oh, they're firing me up. Hey, yo, NBC's fired me up. Don't calm down. Tyleik Williams is hard to move at the point of attack and should make quite the tandem next to William McNeil. Okay, we see you. I thought Tate Ratledge was a future high-end starter at guard, while Miles Frazier had no business falling to the 5th round. Hey, they're spitting. Calm down. They doubled up on a need while getting value with players that fit their identity. I thought he was going to say Isaac Tesla, and I was going to be you didn't go there. Isaac Tesla played the slot for Arkansas, but his here we go. His size and speed intrigues me as a perimeter threat in the NFL. You know what? I'm not mad at this. I'm not mad at what he said, because he said perimeter threat, right? He did play some perimeter snaps, and he's using that skill set to say, but wait a minute, he can actually do more than just playing the slot. I respect that, NBC. I respect, because you gave us an A-, and I think you cooked the Packers or something. I don't know. I'm just going to assume they gave him an F. They should have. All right. Do we have one more? We have one more. We should have ended on that. I already opened it, though. All right, CBS. What's CBS talking about? CBS gives us a B. It's kind of the range. I would say the average today was a B to a B-, right? That's kind of where we were at all day. Taking Tyleik Williams was a bit of a reach in the 1st round. All right, they're hating. Especially okay, now let me say this. I know I said it before. I had Tyleik Williams with the same grade as Jahad Campbell. So for me, it wasn't really a reach. It was just like I didn't know who they were going to take. I really didn't know. I thought they were going to take Campbell. They didn't. So for me, like, at least for where I was at coming into it, it wouldn't have been a reach based on the grading aspect. And that's actually my fault, because when I have that number on a player and we're getting up closer to the draft, the fact that I didn't bring him up more is an issue. And that's on me, right? Because you kind of staple him in. Oh, he's an interior defense lineman. We kind of put him in his rankings in the list for the interior defense lineman. But the reality is, if I'm in the same spot as Campbell, like, at very least, it should be mentioned more. So that's on me. I should have done that. And it's probably because what happened is, and this is why it shocked me that's why I bring it up, because when I had looked back at my notes from when I did the video and I pulled it up and saw that the number was the same as Campbell's, I was like, wait a minute, I didn't even know I did that. I didn't even know he was ranked there. So, like, I don't know if I forgot to look back at it when I was putting my top 15 together. I would assume I did, because when I put that top 15 list together, it was like 4 a.m. in Green Bay at a hotel, like, not sleeping. So there's a potential that I know I left one player off the list. I won't say who it was. Maybe y'all can figure it out. There's one player I just left off on accident. The point is, that's probably what happened. So I ended up missing out on it. And, he was still on the list, but probably should have been either higher or just at least brought up a little bit more. But, it is what it is. Good thing we had the video. Okay, I think that's everything, man. So I'm gonna leave it there, man. Shout out to Bleacher Report for their little rankings here. That was awesome, and that is your. Now, that's the thing. Like, I wasn't a big Jahad Campbell guy, which is so weird. That's the weird thing. I wasn't a big Jahad Campbell guy. Like, he was getting buzzed top 10. I didn't love Jahad. I always felt like I was the weird one because I thought for sure I was going to be off on Campbell. Like, all the buzz, I was like, this guy's going to go way higher than I thought. There was at one point, I think I mocked him like Chicago at 10 when we were doing our drafts as a whole. I thought that I was too low on him, but my number was like, it wasn't up there where people were. It made sense where he went. But if I have him as the same number as Tyreek, it makes sense that he goes in that kind of range. But I assumed he was going to go way higher. So yeah, that's on me. That's definitely on me. But anyways, point being, that's where we're going to leave it here. Reacting to Lions draft grades. We can kind of leave that, I think, in the rear view mirror now. Maybe eventually I'll just do my grades. But the key to that is I definitely want to get through all the breakdowns because I don't like just grading the picks without at least doing that. I mean, it's hard to grade them after an immediate drafting them anyways, but it's also kind of a mess if I haven't already did the breakdown aspects. And I'm just throwing letters out there. I don't want to do that. So, Tate Ratledge video coming soon on DoseOfDion 2.0. So check that out. And I think outside of that, we are just going to we're going to leave that there, man. Shout out to everybody joining. I will see you guys on Friday, same time, 6 p.m. Eastern time, and we're out. All right, YouTube. Not bad. That's why I'm not reading the chat because I had BR on. So, yeah, Tate Ratledge video's coming. I have like 20 minutes left to edit. Not 20 minutes like real time, but 20 minutes of the video left to edit. So it's going to take a little bit, but I'm working through it. And that video is going to come out hopefully tonight. It might be a little bit late tonight, but I want to get it out tonight. So I was thinking about doing it for this, but I didn't want to do that because we did that last time. So I just want to get that thing out there separately. So that video will be out tonight, hopefully. And that breakdown will be out so you can see what my thoughts are on them, the full thoughts on Tate Ratledge. And that's when I was excited to do because I didn't have him with like, he wasn't like my card 3 or something. Like he was in the top 10, but he wasn't that high. So I wanted to see like how things have changed when I saw more. So you'll see that. Hypothetically, right now, Manu versus Ahmed, 1-on-1, best of 7. Who you got? What's the final? Ooh, yikes, dude. I don't even know how to go with that one. I would think Manu. I would guess Manu. I would take Manu to win 4 of those. I think it's easier as an lineman to win a rep versus an edge versus a guy on the rushing, especially as a tackle. Like you're going to be 1-on-1 anyway. I would take Manu. The dude's had an extra year of just working in the NFL, bro. Manu's going to handle business. That dude's not getting cooked 4 times. He ain't getting cooked 4 times. Not yet. Maybe eventually. Not yet. Nah, Manu's going to handle that. I'm rolling Manu's going to handle that. Would you rather play Philly before or after we get Aleem? Ooh, that's a good question. I mean, shoot, ideally when we're healthier, right? Like, I think he's good enough to alter that game. Yeah, no, I mean, ideally when we're healthier, we have a tough schedule though this year. I'm not mad at playing like Philly week 1 if we could pull that off. Like just get that team out of the way, like that kind of thing, right? Go to there. I mean, no, that wouldn't work, right? Because when did Kansas City get the home game to open the year because they won the Super Bowl? Or no, they lost the Super Bowl. I'm sorry. They would get the home game. Yeah, no. So like if we could run it with Philly week 1 in Philly, I think that'd be ideal because then one, I wouldn't have to worry about the weather. And that's still a thing. Like I'd rather not have as bad of weather. And I think if you could get Philly out of the way week 1, that'd be ideal. Like that would be my I don't know. Like I would like to run that. So I mean, ideally you like to have Aleem, but I'd be cool with that week 1. I like to play a team week 1, kind of just see where both teams are at, man, before all these rookies get involved and stuff like that. Like it's gonna be kind of who you are and being healthy. Like you'd kind of like to know where you stand a little bit, relatively healthy. Because then you got guys coming back. You know what I'm saying? We talked to Corey Besh this morning before Ahmed jumped on the plane. Corey Besh? Okay, I don't know who that is, but shout out to Corey Besh. Pickens to Dallas. What do you think? I think Pickens is a mess, so I understand why they traded him. I think it's concerning, but I also think for Dallas they had to do it. So I think on paper it's awesome. On paper I think it's awesome for Dallas. But realistically, I don't know what the heck they're doing. But I think on paper it's awesome. They've given him a lot of draft picks. Like I don't know. I think they have money because they're not paying anybody the last couple of years. But I don't know like how many draft picks they actually have now in the future. The Mingo trade was a disaster. So I don't know what they're doing, to be honest with you. I'm not mad at them being aggressive and training for guys. I don't think that's horrible. And I think the player makes sense, but I don't trust Pickens right now, dude. Like I wouldn't trust that. I think it would be fun early though. Pickens, yeah, we're prime time now. Corey Besh is Ahmed's brother. Oh, okay, he's Ahmed's brother who brought him to America and taught him football. There you go. That's awesome. Wait, you caught him on a plane before Ahmed jumped on a plane? We talked to him this morning before he jumped on a plane. Okay, wait, were you at the airport or you just called him or something? The Pickens to Dallas trade. I wonder if it triggered any Roy Williams PTSD in Dallas. Tough schedule means we will learn all about this team. Yeah, yeah. Well, I think Washington's going to take a step back, so I ain't worried about Washington. And I might just be a hater, but I don't think they're going to be as good this year. Kansas City, I love those games, so I'm fired up for that. Rams are always fire. That'll be down the wire. Bengals, I'm not worried on the dang Bengals, bro. You know what I'm saying? No, dang Bengals, bro. Like, hey, man, come on, bro. You know what I'm saying? Like, that's, you know what I mean? Ravens will be the one, though. Ravens is the one for me. Like, dealing with that dude, and I turned my camera off. My bad. But dealing with that guy, woo, hey, man, you gotta be ready for that. You got to be ready for that. Oh, I just turned my camera off. No, that's a disappointment. Okay. Yeah, that's crazy. It's all right. We're about to end this thing anyway, so that's fine. That's fine. I ask you because you think their offense could affect our defense? You talking about Dallas? Give me 1 second. Let me plug my camera back in so we can wrap this. Have a good night. Hey, yo, I unplugged it for 1 second. No, I'm disappointed now. I played myself. I don't even have my other camera hand. All right, here's what we're going to do. Just to know what we're going to do. All right, give me 1 second. Damn. Okay, this isn't. All right, look, bro. It ain't that serious, dog. I don't know what I'm doing. I'm disappointed that I just unplugged it. Are we fine with Brad Holmes has done the password? Shoot, as long as we're healthy, bro. You know what I mean? Like, we just got to be healthy. Hopefully, as long as we're relatively healthy. I feel good about it. We just got to get teams in the passing downs more. I think we're going to do that this year, which is exciting. I think we're going to be better against the run, so I think we'll be in a good spot. But that's key. That's where I'm starting, man. Because it's like if you can't stop the run, bro, there's nothing going to happen. And you got Philly. We're talking about Philly. We're talking about Washington. Washington adds to their offensive line to run the ball. They ran the ball super well last season. Like, ultimately, bro, we got to be able to stop the run. If we can't stop the run, we're going to get cooked. That's kind of where I'm at with it. Why did this thing zoom in so much? Oh, my gosh. Okay. Yeah, that's crazy. This thing is, like, all up. Okay, back up. Dang. It's not that serious, dude. Okay. All right. They have an elite quarterback. That's what I'm worried about. Oh, they do. They have a dog. I hear what you're saying. They have a dog. I like the Demetrius Knight pick, too. I think that was money. But as a team, I ain't worried about that team. Yeah. I'm not worried about that. The Pickens to Dallas trade. Okay, tougher schedule. Asked because how their defense could affect us. Oh, yeah, how their offense could affect our defense now. I mean, we'll see. I mean, I feel like that's going to be something that's going to messy through the season, so it won't happen early, but it could become messy. That'd be my concern as a Dallas fan is like, oh, this could get messy. But definitely makes him better. CeeDee Lamb is ridiculous, dude. Do you think Jahmyr Gibbs will do next year? Over 1,500 yards. What do you have last year? He had like 1,000 last year. Ah, man, I don't want to bet against the guy, but I wouldn't bet on him going for 1,500, not rushing yards. Like, all purpose, yes. I wouldn't bet on 1,500 rushing yards. I don't think I'd get there with it just for snap reasons. Ideally, we could still have rotation rolling along, but like, I want to see what he does in the pass game because I think last year he took such big steps towards the end of the year that I want to see that continue with Morton. That's where I'm at with it. If the Lions have a top 3 defense, are we the 1 seed? Top 3 defense? They better be the 1 seed, bro. They better be the one. I mean, I don't know. Wentzy didn't help us last year, but look, man, if we top 3 defense, like if they had a top 3 defense, they'd probably be top 3 in both categories. And their offense would be outstanding if they had a top 3 defense. Like for them, they already take the ball away a lot. Like they've gotten to that point. They typically get a lot of pressures because they blitz a lot, but kind of both things go hand in hand. If you were top 3, like I think you're saying like total yards, probably like that's how they usually go by it. That means you're probably stopping them run pretty well as well. You're not getting big plays in the pass game. If they have like a top 3 defense, shoot, they had a top 3 defense, they could go undefeated. Like straight. If they had a top 3 defense, I think they could. That'd be the one way they could win 15 games again. I don't think it's going to happen, but I think it'd leave the door open. He is a natural speaker and a football coach. He will make you love Amon more. That's fire. That's fire. As a Steelers fan, I'm not mad at trading Pickens. See, there you go. Hoping our second-year cornerbacks make strides. Need to, man. I was thinking about that today. Need to, but it's gonna be exciting. I'm fired up to see Rakestraw play this year. That's what I'm hyped for. Also, DJ Reed video, something I'm gonna be getting into here soon. Definitely need to do something full on that. DJ Reed, gotta really dive into that one because Carlton last year was eye opening. Like the more I watched it, Carlton was pretty eye opening of what we could have got there. I think he brought more than what I expected. He brought some different things than I expected too. So I'm gonna try to keep an open mind with DJ Reed and really what he can add with his size, inside, outside potentially. Really want to keep an open eye with DJ Reed, see how much is actually like possibly there for him. What impact would be bigger for us, Terran or Tyreek? Ooh, I would. Oh, that's a great question. I would. Man, I don't know how to answer that one. I don't know how to answer that one because it's like, well, when does Aleem get back? You know what I mean? But I would say Tyreek. I would say Tyreek because I think Rakestraw is going to be really good. I think he'd be able to start. I think Amik Robertson is clearly capable outside. So if you played him wide and you put Rakestraw in the slot and you had DJ Reed out wide, like I'd feel really good about that four. And then I think Tyreek has to help us. We got to get better stopping to run. Like Darian's not going to do much there. So I'm going to roll Tyreek. I'm going to roll Tyreek. He's going to play a lot, dude. He's going to play a lot early, which is going to be some issues, but he's going to play a lot. Question before you go. Lions fans are thinking about we are going to look next year, different OC, different DC. Do you think we'll look different? So I pointed somebody to this last video. I did an offensive coordinator breakdown for Johnny Morton. I think that I might post that in the community tab because, as we get closer, I think that's going to be maybe more of a thing is like kind of asking about that. And I did a video on that. So like, I don't even remember what I said in it, to be honest with you, but offense will look different. I think offense is definitely going to look different. Defensively, I don't think we're going to look much different. Like, I don't think a lot's going to change with how they do things. Week to week last year, they were different. So like, I think it's going to be hard to be like, well, this week they ran cover 4 a lot. It's like, okay, but they did that last year too. Like certain teams, they played different coverages. So they weren't even the top team man-to-man coverage last year. They did a lot, but they weren't top. It was Denver who actually took that over last year. So I think defense is going to be similar. I think you're going to see adjusted things week to week, but the foundation will be the same. I don't think anything about like who they want. Really on both sides, I think it'll be like that. I don't think about who they are is going to change. They're going to blitz a lot. I think that's going to be the same. They're going to play a lot of man. They're going to be physical with their corners. Like I don't think that's going to change. And the personnel doesn't scream that should change at all. I think offensively, though, things are going to change a little bit. It's still the identity, run the ball, play action, that kind of thing. I think all that's in play, but I think just the way that they go about certain things, route concepts will be a little bit different. I think that will definitely look different this season. Schematically, do we lean differently in terms of like the run scheme with our O-line coach Fraley taking a little bit more of that over with some of the players that we have? Could we lean a little more gap scheme again this year? Could we kind of get back that we went zone heavy last year? Remember, we had some gap mixed in. Now we get back to pulling linemen a little bit more. Like those are the kind of things that I could see change. I think offensively is going to have some different tendencies for sure. But I think the overall arch of how they want to play is still going to be the same. I'm concerned with line secondary. DJ is a crappy corner, but scrappy. Man, I was like, bro, that's tough. The backs behind him are suspect. You think they're suspect? I think Amik's they feel pretty good about Amik. And Terrion's not going to come off the field if he's healthy. Like they started him last year, so I don't think that's going to change. Beyond that, Rakestraw. No, you're good. Beyond that, I mean, Rakestraw's a wait and see. I thought he was good when he came in last year. He was given receptions, but he was contested. I'm a huge Rakestraw guy. So like, if you ask my opinion, I'm not going to give you a good answer or I'm not going to give you a great answer there because I think Rakestraw is like starting level. So like I'm fired up about Rakestraw. Now beyond that, we can have a conversation because corner 5 is up for grabs. You do have Dorsey who came back on the 2-year deal, which feels like could keep him around. They seem to like Dorsey. I think he took good strides early, maybe kind of pulled back a little bit recently. We need to see if that can continue to take a jump. And then you got like Rock Sin who came in who, for cornerback 5, you told me that's corner 5 just by the name. I'd feel pretty good about that. But the competition there is going to be wide open. I think corner 5 is very wide open, even though I think Dorsey's probably the leader right now. But I think that spot's wide open. Then they keep 6, and that could be another corner. That could be all over the place. That could be a UDFA. Could it be our guy out of Texas, right? I think something like that. That actually is a little bit open. But I think the first 4 I feel really good about. Yeah. Number 4 hasn't played. The rest are my concern. Yeah. So number 4 hasn't played. You talking about Rakestraw? I mean, yeah, he played a few snaps last year, had the injuries. All you can go based on is college then. But again, that's actually kind of to the short video that I posted like Friday. It's like that's why you invest in those guys. Right? Like that's why you have that conviction when you draft them. That way you trust putting them on the field. Because if you don't trust putting them on the field because you haven't seen the NFL, then he's never going to get on the field. You're just going to go sign a veteran to play over him, and he'll never touch the field. He's like, oh, we haven't seen it yet. So that's where one of those things I mean, I guess we'll see it in the preseason, but like that's kind of where that falls into play. It's like, how'd you feel about him when you drafted him? Why'd you draft him? And also, that's why you don't draft for need. Because if they would have drafted for need, they probably wouldn't have taken Rakestraw round 2 because it wouldn't have made a lot of sense. I didn't even think they were going to take corner, and then they took him. Like, what the heck? I didn't expect that at all. But that's not why he's so valuable. So at least for me, I thought he was worthy of going round 1. So I'm pretty comfy with him. At least it's where I'm at. I can't tell you more than that. I have no idea what he's going to look like in AFL really, but felt really good about him when we drafted him. So I'm pretty comfy there. And I was thinking about that, like, could Rocky Sin / Khalil Dorsey, like, could that be better? And let's just say Kendall Vildor, because Vildor left this offseason. Like, could that be better than Vildor? It's very possible, right? Like, Vildor got better as a man coverage piece. There were still the same limitations there. Still, I mean, I was watching a play yesterday where, like, I mean, he gave up a guy wide open deep against Indy, Indy was a rough game for him. But point is, like, you knew there were still some things he's good at, things he's not that good at. Could you feel like you're in the same boat with where you're at corner 5 with where you are with Vildor? Like, yeah, I think you could be as comfy. And Vildor, like, against the run, he was weird last year. He didn't play as well against the run last year. I don't know what he was doing against the run. It felt weird. I don't know what he's doing. What happened to Penasini? I think Penasini just medically retired. I think that's what ended up happening. I don't think he really played anywhere after us. I think he medically retired. 10-7. Yeah, I mean, shoot, just get in. I mean, regardless of record, just get into the playoffs, dude. You know what I mean? That's where I'm at. Just get in. Levi, Reeder, Hutch. I think that's probably the starting 4. I think that's probably right. I think Davenport will start over Levi. If Davenport's healthy, I think Davenport gets the nod. And then Levi could potentially get the nod over Tyleek on the inside, and that could be more of a rotation. I could see that being the case. My guess would be that's how I would roll it out if I'm fully healthy. I'd start Davenport, have Levi rotate with Tyleek, and rotate with Levi too, depending on the fronts we're playing. But that'd probably be how I'd go about it. Can these rookies that we drafted really make an impact in their first year? Tyleek's going to have to. One of these interior offensive linemen probably will because of where we're at, but maybe not. Like, they're not forced to. Outside of that, I don't really know who does. I think special teams is the biggest thing. I think Tesla could at some point. I think he will at some point. I don't think it'll be immediate. Ahmed might. Hopefully not because we're healthy, but he might at some point down the road. But I think for the most part, outside of one of your guards and outside of Tyleek, probably mainly special teams. And then if there's injuries, that's how it'll probably open up for him. Levi having some experience at edge, carry over better. Yeah, that'll be nice. That'll be nice. To be able to tap into that will be nice. When Davenport ever healthy, gets her waking up. I believe in Davenport, man. I got to believe in him. That's all I can do. All I can do is believe in him. I don't want to count him out, So we'll see. I mean, I don't know. I got sympathy for injured guys now. You know what I mean? I got sympathy for those dudes. Hey, as long as, I'll say this. As long as he is kind of doing what he let out in the presser of like, yo, like, I got to stay healthy. Like, that's my goal and that kind of thing. It may not happen, right? You can't control it. But as long as he's taking that approach of like, he's got that kind of mentality, like he's doing everything he can to get back, like in Hutch's or like Levi did, that kind of thing, even though it took a while. Like, as long as he's coming to that approach, that's all I can ask for the dude at this point, right? We signed him, got him on the price we did. Just do that, just as long as you're taking that approach to that you're doing everything in your power to get back on the field, then I'm not mad at you. You know what I mean? Like, that's all you can do, bro. You know what I mean? So I appreciate that. That's where I'm at with it. I got respect for those dudes. You know what I'm saying? Like, it sucks. It sucks to be hurt, bro. Everybody, it sucks. Even if you don't do sports, it sucks to be hurt. Or it's like being sick. No one wants to be sick. It's like, man, this is great. I don't feel good today. Awesome. Like, you know what I mean? If Terrion has another lackluster year, do we try? No, I don't think Terrion had a lackluster year. I thought Terrion finished the year really strong. I thought he had ups and downs, but I thought he got better each week. Like, and I don't even say better each week. I thought his rookie season was like this. I thought he'd get better. He'd fix something that was an issue. Then it was like, oh, that's rough. That's got to be fixed. Then it get better. And it's like, oh, that's rough. Got to be fixed. I thought it was a lot of that. So, lackluster, I think, is fair. I think it's a fair term, actually, for his rookie year, because I think that's how the year was. But, like, when we did our breakdowns every week, like every week, Terrion, like, would show something different. And I got excited about it. So, like, I actually felt really good with his progression, even though it was like, it wasn't like this. It really isn't ever like that for any player, but it was a lot of this. And actually felt really, really positive coming out from last season. So I feel really good about it. Like, Terrion, again, I still think he's better than Quinyon Mitchell. We'll see. You don't draft guys for year one. You draft them for what they're going to be. I'm I liked him more than Quinyon Mitchell coming out. So we'll see. Mitchell was great last year, but I'm still Terrion believer. And I won't give off of that after 1 year. 4 years down the road, maybe I'll sit back and I'm like, yeah, that was off on that one. But as of now, I'm still gonna ride with him. Absolutely, man. Prove everybody wrong in that sense. He will get back and probably get hurt in the first preseason game. Yeah, I mean, I hope not. I don't know. I don't want to speak it into existence. Like it is what it is. You know what I mean? It's life, man. I mean, it's not like he's going out there hoping he gets hurt. Just is what it is. Is Amik able to start the game? Start the season. Sorry. Amik able to start the season. I remember how bad of an injury playoff game. Man, that's a good question. See, we got all these dudes. Look it up. Look it up. So he suffered a broken. Oh, that was right. No, yeah, he'll be good. He'll be good. I'm sorry, I forgot. He had like the broken humerus thing. It seems like he's gonna be ready for some of these offseason workouts. He should be good. He should be good. I think he's gonna be good. Man, our defense was rolling with Davenport. Davenport was really good to start the year. That defense was tough. That defense was tough even beyond Davenport, though, in fairness. You know what I mean? He was seemingly too overamped. I don't know. I thought he looked comfortable at the end of the year. I thought he did. I thought he played like with really good pace at the end of the year. I thought really Minnesota the first time we saw him was like, this guy looks good. So I thought he looked comfy at the end of the year. He just got cooked a couple times. Like realistically, sometimes he just got cooked. like I think sometimes just like, yeah, that dude had something you've never seen before. And that dude torched you, bro. And I think that happened. I mean, shoot, the dude that who was it? He signed this offseason. I can't think of who it was. No, the dude from Tennessee. We did like a little free agent thing for him. I can't think of who he was. The big receiver. Dude torched him on a slant. So, like, to me, that was just like, yeah, that dude gotcha. Like, sometimes maybe you just get got. You're like, all right, I haven't seen that. I need to see that. Got to get cooked one time so I can find out. Hey, you learned. That's how you learn, I guess, bro. I still think Jefferson's starting running back. I love some Jamar Jefferson coming out. But again, I do say in defending myself, I've come a long way in how I watch players versus then. Like then I wasn't doing any of this stuff. So come a long way, at least personally, for what I actually look for. Right. I'm not just watching for like, oh, that look pretty cool. Like looking for traits. I feel like we have a linebacker issue. We don't have any studs back there. You don't think we have any studs at linebacker? Come on, man. Now I feel like you playing with me, Steven. I mean, I love your picture, bro. I love your picture, but I feel like you playing with me, dog. What city is this? Come on, man. I mean, I feel like Campbell's a stud. I'll give him that. I've always loved Alex. Alex Ben, ever since we got him, he's one of my favorites. But Campbell was a dog last season. Campbell was a dog. And here's what I'd say. Just, you can come back to me with this, and I'll let you do this. You take your small sample size. Watch, go back, right? Find like a replay of a game last year that he was healthy and just watch the game. And then you come back and you tell me. You did. That's it. Just any game. I'm going to give you a game. Just watch a game and just see what you think. Because I feel like I need to do this. That's why just like sometimes I'll randomly put on game just to refresh myself how I felt last year. And it's just like, dude, that guy was awesome. Like I always feel like that when I see Campbell. So like just maybe you won't feel the same. Maybe you will. That would be my exercise for you. Are you confident in the O-line? Very confident. I love the O-line. Anzalone, Barnes, Campbell will be stud linebackers this year. Laporta. Oh boy. Yeah. Let's not talk about that. Oh yeah. You Brock Wright. I think Prior Scorn is going to make this team, the UDFA out of Ole Miss. I think he's got a real chance to make it. I like the UDFAs we brought in. They're pretty fun to watch. Shane Zylstra's still here, so hopefully he cooks in the preseason. He might end up getting back. Like he was someone I trusted, at one point. Just got to get back to that, get back to being healthy, that kind of thing. Then of course you got Brock Wright. I mean, we know what Brock Wright is. And they made it work with some like what the heck at tight end. They've done it basically with Brock Wright and Shane Zylstra. It's definitely different though. That there is not a good there's not a good replacement for Laporta. Upgrade for Anzalone would be nice. Yeah, I don't know. I don't need to upgrade Anzalone, like not this year. Eventually they're gonna, I don't even call it upgrade, they're just gonna have to replace him. But like Anzalone is one of the best coverage linebackers in football. Like he does the Lions don't have a guy close in man coverage to Anzalone. The closest guy is Malcolm, and they got some limitations with him. And Malcolm took a big step. But generally, Alex Anzalone is one of the best man coverage linebackers in the NFL. And they need that because they play way too much man to have a guy that can't do that. Because Jack Campbell, one-on-one, is typically in a really bad spot. Alex Anzalone handles a lot of that work. That's where Alex, to me, is so valuable. It's like that guy's not out there. You lose a really big part of that. And Look, we had guys trying, like Ezekiel Turner was trying to do it last year. Like you had guys just trying to do that alone. It was like, all right, can you just cover dudes? That dude is different as a coverage guy, especially with his build too, because he plays with so much fire and energy. Is Rodriguez is here? Yeah, Rodriguez is still here. He should be good to go. Yeah, I think so. Hope Laporta blows up 65, buck 50, 10 tutties. Not praying. Yeah, that would be amazing, But I mean, even last year he was good. He just numbers took down a little bit, but he was good. He was good, man. All right, look at this, man. I gotta end this here because I gotta get to this editing, bro. But I appreciate y'all joining for real. I will see you guys at very worst another live Friday, same time. But I gotta knock out this breakdown, bro. It's coming out soon. Tate Ratledge. Have a great night. And I'll see y'all soon, man. And then check out the video when it drops. But until then, we're out.